Hey everyone, this is Rob with the Machine Gun Nest with some breaking news on today's legal update. The ATF has sent out an open letter to all federal firearm licensees stating that they are now classifying some FRTs, or forced reset triggers, as machine guns. That's right. The letter also mentions that the ATF intends to take, quote, appropriate remedial action with respect to sellers and possessors of these devices, end quote. This letter is a culmination of events that we covered since last year, starting with the ATF contacting Rare Breed, the manufacturer of the most popular FRT, and informing them that they were considering the FRT to be a machine gun. In response, Rare Breed challenged the ATF's decision in court. More recently, Gun Owners of America reported evidence of a leaked email from the ATF documenting plans to give field agents the green light to start demanding forfeiture of forced reset triggers and documents relating to the sale and transfer of these devices. The ATF has finally announced that FRT owners violate the NFA and the GCA. In their open letter, the ATF states that, quote, current possessors of these devices are encouraged to contact ATF for further guidance on how they may divest possession, end quote. So the ATF asks that gun owners call them, make them aware that they own what the ATF has determined is an illegal machine gun. But as always, with the ATF and gun control, there's a larger story here. Force reset triggers, or FRTs, are not machine guns or machine gun parts. They're semi-automatic triggers. Interestingly enough, in ATF's letter, they say that what determines that FRT devices are machine guns was that some FRT devices allow a firearm to automatically expel more than one shot with a single continuous pull of the trigger. Keep in mind the use of the word continuous. Let's compare this finding with the definition of machine gun as defined in U.S. law. The term machine gun means any weapon which shoots, is designed to shoot, or can be readily restored to shoot automatically more than one shot without manually reloading by a single function of the trigger. Notice how the word continuous is missing from the legal definition. While it is true that FRT devices do increase a shooter's rate of semi-automatic fire, the FRT does not convert a semi-automatic firearm into a machine gun. Like the name forced reset implies, the trigger is reset after firing via spring tension and a mechanical assist. If you take a look at the FRT in action, you'll see that this trigger is resetting after every shot.
As you can clearly see, the trigger is being depressed for each round that is fired. Or as the ATF would define it, each round that is fired requires a single function of the trigger.
Also, nowhere in the definition of machine gun is the rate of fire even mentioned. By this logic, match triggers, belt loops, and Jerry Miculek's fingers would be considered machine guns.
Stand by.
If this situation sounds familiar, that's because it is. The ATF in 2019 classified bump stock devices in a similar fashion. The ATF did this by considering bump stock devices to be machine guns. Companies made no bump stock devices before 1986, so all bump stocks were effectively banned using the NFA, GCA, and FOPA. The ATF is using the same process to ban and criminalize possession of force reset triggers. This overreach is a tactic straight out of David Chipman's playbook. Chipman was the Biden nominee to lead the ATF and a senior policy advisor at Giffords, one of the largest anti-gun organizations.
With respect to the AR-15, I support a ban.
While Chipman proved to be too divisive of a nominee for the ATF, he had to withdraw his nomination. His thought process and policies still significantly influenced the federal government. In 2018, Chipman wrote an article called Legal and Lethal: 9 products that could be the next bump stock. And while force reset triggers did not exist at the time, they surely would have made the list. So, what's so important about a 4-year-old article, and how does this relate to FRTs? Well, this article reveals the process in which the anti-gun lobby and their allies in the ATF seek to erode American gun rights. In Section 9 of Legal and Lethal, Chipman details his idea that semi-automatic firearms with large capacity magazines in his mind are the same as machine guns. He does this by arguing the definition of manual reloading, saying that, quote, semi-automatic firearms with large capacity magazines rarely require manual reloading, but they can expel a lot of ammunition in a brief period of time. They do so by allowing a trigger to be pulled many times very easily and ensuring that there is almost always another bullet ready to go. Despite this, large capacity magazines and semi-automatic firearms equipped with them, sometimes called assault weapons, are not regulated under the NFA, even though they pose incredible danger to our communities, end quote. If the definition of machine guns could be co-opted to include semi-automatic rifles, it would be disastrous for the firearms community as a whole. Yet, this is precisely where we're headed with this disastrous bump stock decision, and now one step closer with the FRT situation. Don't wait until the ATF is at your door. Make sure to call your elected representatives and let them know the ATF is legislating by executive fiat. We'll keep you updated as this situation develops. Make sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments section, and don't forget to like and subscribe.